Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I've got a question for you. What is the ultimate tool in your tech stack? What do you think it is? Is it an app? Is it your smartphone? Is it your telephone if you're really a smart seller? Or is it your mind? Well, today's guest is Mark Hunter. Mark has written a new book, which I don't even have a copy of yet, but I have the PDF. It's fantastic. It's called A Mind for Sales. And Mark argues that the mind is the most powerful app in our sales stack and often the most overlooked. Mark's written some great books. He's one of the smartest guys that I know. I'm really, really grateful that he's joining us. Now, Mark had a crazy start in sales that was pretty inauspicious, but pretty darn memorable. And if you're tired of being stressed out, burned out, or bummed out, your customers don't want to hear from you. This is the conversation, and this is the book you need. Mr. Hunter, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, you're right. The ultimate sales tool. This is the app that everybody's already downloaded. It's called their mind.
Yeah. It's so fascinating. I mean, why do you think, Mark, that we all overlook that?
Because squirrel, shiny object. I mean, come on. I mean, we're always sitting there thinking the solution lies somewhere over the rainbow. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, can you tell I've had a little coffee this morning?
Oh, that's good. That's good. So how do you like your coffee, Mark? Coffee's for closers.
Coffee's for closers, and I drink it black, no cream, no nothing. Just give me the caffeine. There you go, man.
Cheers. No, that's the same way I drink it. So good. Well, thank you for the little bit of song and dance there. That's always appreciated from you, buddy.
Hey, so no extra charge, man. No extra charge.
Right. Thankfully, that's the royalty-free version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow for those of you listening at home. Right.
Hey, it was so lousy you would never be able to match that up to a tune anyway. So don't worry about it.
Judy Garland, you're not. Though you are somewhere in Nebraska, Kansas. Where are you at today?
I am in Nebraska today, heading to Houston tonight for an engagement tomorrow. In fact, I just left Houston yesterday, but heading back down there tomorrow.
That's good. Well, I bet your wife was glad to see you for 10 minutes, huh?
Thank you. Appreciate that. She gets me for more than that.
I know. That's good, man. Well, cool. Well, so, I love your high ticket prospecting book, and I've loved everything that you've done, and your really short videos are super impactful in just a little bit. But then you go and write this Mind for Sales. Isn't it just as simple as just have us be smart and be positive, or what, Mark? What's the deal?
Well, at the end of the day, you could boil it down to those couple words if you want. But hey, here's the way I look at it. And if you really start to think about when you change your mind, it's amazing how you change your customer's mind. So many times what happens is we don't find the opportunities. I firmly believe that every morning, every day, we come in contact. I was just on the phone this morning, a coaching client, another country, where the industry she sells into, they shut down. She sells into the education world. They shut down all schools for 4 weeks. No cases of this thing reported in their country, but they shut down schools for 4 weeks. And initially she was devastated, but you know what? As we talk through, tremendous number of opportunities that she has right now, tremendous. And I think this is the way it is with all of us. We see so many opportunities, but the vast majority, we just drive right past. We drive right past. When you get your mindset, it's amazing how the fog lifts and we can see things. So really it is. It's a mindset book, but don't get hung up on that because, you got the PDF. I don't even have the final. All I have is an advanced reader copy. That's all I have here.
Yeah.
There's tons of tools in there in terms of how to set up your day, how to structure your day, how to look at things, questions you need to be asking in terms of how you create your funnel, your sales process. So there's a lot of those tools in there too, because it all comes down to right there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, right, I say joking, right, it's like 4 words, but I love that you start the book off with something super important. You say that your mind drives your success, and you talk about setting a pizza goal. What, come on, Mark, what is this?
Well, the pizza goal in one of my top 10 all-time favorite movies is Tommy Boy. And if you haven't seen the movie, go out and buy the movie Tommy Boy and send the bill to Gerbershack. I'm sure he will be happy to pay for it. There's a wonderful scene in there where I won't go through it because if I tell you, people will crack up laughing. But anyway, where they're trying to make a sale. Basically what it is trying to get chicken wings from the diner. And They were successful. And David Spade says, you had a lot of confidence there. And he says, well, I knew if I didn't get the chicken wings, we had a meat lovers special in the trunk of the car. See, in other words, what I love is a pizza goal. What is this? This is an easy goal that you create on a Monday morning. In other words, you set an easy goal. I actually learned this from a company I was doing work with. And all their salespeople set a Monday morning pizza goal. And the idea is that you accomplish something just minor, but it creates momentum. Momentum creates momentum. And it's getting that mindset right.
Wow. That's so
you actually read the book. I love it, man.
Of course I did, man. Dude, that's how this works, dude. That's how this works. You got it. Well, right. But I tell you, I didn't prepare Monday morning, like you said, which I thought was really smart, right? I prepared other days than Monday because Monday is for selling. And you make that really clear in the book. So talk to us about your Monday mission, because I think that was one of the most useful tools in the book, and you give it away so early, Mark. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. Well, what it is I lay out 10 steps. There's actually 5 that you got to do on Sunday night and 5 that you do on Monday morning. And what's cool is you can apply this to not just Monday morning, but you can apply it to but you set your mission. And so many times what happens is we set our plan based on a to-do list. And what I want to do is I want to flip it on in. I want to set it on the outcomes. What are the outcomes? And there's just something about, again, when you're shifting your mindset to the outcomes, you're going to create the outcomes you're going to help people with. It's amazing how it changes how you go about that to-do list. So it is purely because here's what I find. Too many people spend Monday getting ready to work. Well, guess what? Monday's a great selling day. And you want to blow off Monday mornings? I bet you're the same person that blows off Friday afternoons. Well, guess what? You've now blown off 20% of your week. I make some of my best sales on Monday mornings and Friday afternoons. I love it. Boom.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Monday can be our absolute best day, but that does require some advanced work. And I think that's the thing that folks miss, right? They think, oh, well, I don't have to prepare, but you're not talking about over preparing. And I think that's really important, right? It is not about spending all day Friday or all day Sunday prepping. Talk to us a little bit about the actual practical, tactical stuff, Mark, that we need to prep for make our Monday most successful.
Sure. 2 things that I love doing is at the end of the week, and you can do it Friday afternoon, late Friday afternoon, you can do it Saturday morning. I tend to do it Saturday morning, but Saturday mornings, what I'll do is I just think back on the week and I jot down what are the key things I did. And more importantly, what I'm looking for is what's the biggest thing I did. And then I just give myself a big hug. I give myself a big hug. I love myself. And here's what it is, because now what it is you have a chance to put away last week on a high note. And when you put away last week on a high note, then you begin thinking, how am I going to set up next week? How am I going to set up next week to win? So what I'm doing is, and I love doing it on Saturday mornings, because then it gives me kind of Saturday and Sunday to kind of be getting that shifting of the mindset. And so come around Monday morning, and I share in the book how I used to wake up really, I still wake up early, but even back then I woke up early. And, as a kid, because I was excited because what Monday morning was going to bring. And when you go into, because I see too many salespeople, oh man, stressed out Sunday nights. They're stressed out Sunday nights because they're dreading what Monday brings. And I want to put that on end. Let's blow that out of the water. Let's end it now.
Yeah, definitely. So stop dreading a Monday, start prepping Sunday, get excited again for your Monday, get up early, give yourself a big hug. Great advice. So Mark, as I'm looking through the book, you've got so many big nuggets here that are really helpful. And one of the things we talked about the greatest tools are mind, but then you talk about our greatest assets, one of which is the mind. But then you talk about time and network. So talk to us through that, because I think so many people think that assets are either prospects or assets are tools or assets are money. What does that mean?
Yeah, this whole thing, so many people sit there and say, I can't be successful because we don't have a good product lineup, or I can't be successful because our customers suck or whatever, or I can't be successful because I have a bad territory. And I say your 3 greatest assets are your time, your mind, and your network. And your time is your most valuable asset. It's not what you sell. It's not your price list. It's not your cost. It's your time and how you choose to use it. What I find is, this gets a lot of salespeople into trouble because they wind up prospecting people who have no ability to buy. There's a phrase I love to use that you can't take a Walmart shopper and make them a Nordstrom customer. You see, if you start off with the wrong prospect, guess what? You're going to wind up having to discount your price. You're going to wind up having to do different things. Start with the right prospect. But here's the whole thing. Just because the prospect is a name or a lead doesn't make them a prospect. That means they just have a heartbeat. My dog's got a heartbeat. My dog is not buying anything from me. Qualify your prospects early. Respect your time because you only want to spend time with the best. In fact, what I want to do is I want to spend more time with fewer prospects. Whoa, what did he just say? Yeah, I want to spend more time with fewer prospects because that allows me to really uncover better needs, uncover better opportunities for you. When I do that, I serve you in a better way.
Wow. Well, that gets into your point here that sales is not a numbers game. You talk about it being a quality game, right? Which I think is so important. But isn't it true, though, Mark, that we have to have some sort of number to get to quality? I mean, how do we know how many calls we need to make, how many outreaches we need to make?
Yeah, you know what? Sales is still a numbers game in terms at the end of the day, you better complete the sale. But what I find is that when we get so focused on the numbers game, we wind up filling up the pipeline with junk. We just have a lot of junk in there. And what I want to have is I want to have quality. I would rather, and I played this game. I remember one time I had a manager and he was always on my case over my pipeline. And I kept more crap in the pipeline than you can ever possibly imagine. Why? To keep him at bay. But you know what? When you keep that crap in the pipeline, it keeps you from getting to what you really need to get to. So my argument is it's a quality game. And one of the measurements, and I talk about this in the book, it's not the number of leads that come into the top of the pipeline. It's what is the percent of leads that come in the top that come out the bottom as customers. That's what I want to zero in on. That's what I want to really focus in on.
That's where we all want to focus, right?
Right.
Don't we want more outcome?
We want more outcome. And what that means is I got to focus on who is going to bid. But now here's the flip side of this. If I only have one lead, if I only have one opportunity to close, I get desperate. And you know what? The prospect smells that I'm desperate. See? So you do have to have X number of great quality prospects in your pipeline at any one time. Because boy, that gives you a lot more confidence. So it doesn't just come down to just one, but don't think you need to have 1,000.
So more quality leads to better output. Really important. I think that's really great. And focus on getting enough so that you don't get commission breath, right?
Oh, commission breath. Yeah. Boy, did you read that phrase in there? Customers are not bowling pins. Customers are not right. I mean, customers are not bowling pins. And this is what too many salespeople feel. They feel sales as a bowling alley and the customers are lined up at the end and their job is to knock them down as fast as you can. And sorry, cowboys and cowgirls, that's not the way the game is played. Because the other piece, way back in the back of the book, I talk about how we got to get rid of the word closing the sale. I don't want to close a sale. I want to open a relationship.
Yeah, I wrote that one down, that you talked about the future of sales, right? Because I really think that's it. Because our goal is not just one sale. Our goal is not just 10 sales, right? But our goal is a lifetime of value that we exchange with our customers. And I think that's the big miss for so many sales professionals. Don't you, Mark?
Oh, huge miss. Because what happens is we get the sale and we move on to the next one. And we fail to really come. This is where it comes back to that whole prospecting phase in terms of spending more time with fewer prospects, because what I'm able to do is I'm able to uncover more needs. Now, I want to make it as simple for you to buy from me as possible. Don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. But once you're in, I want to bring you back. I want to bring you back. I want to keep you going. But here's the fatal piece. Don't allow yourself to become reliant on just a couple of customers. I mean, I've had this happen to me several times in my career where I have been just with just a few clients. And then one of those clients goes, and guess what? I suddenly get pneumonia.
You get pneumonia? What does that mean?
Well, because what happened is that one big client you had chose to go elsewhere, chose to do something else. And because so much of your business was coming from them and you lost it, suddenly you have no business. This is the old adage, I'll sit there and say, in fact, very simple example. There's a lot of companies out there that sell to Walmart, and Walmart or Amazon might be 60, 70, 80% of their business. Well, what happens is does Amazon or Walmart really care about you? No, they don't really care. They don't care about you at all. And worse yet, when one of them gets a head cold, you get pneumonia and die. That's not good. Not a good situation. Just saying.
That's particularly appropriate right now. Don't get
right now it is very appropriate. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Please,
that's
people,
awful.
Relax, calm down. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's awful. So, Mark, I got to tell you though, we talked a lot about yes. We talked a lot about the outcome, but you actually mentioned the value of hearing no. I mean, come on, man. I read Andrea Waltz's book, Go for No as well. But talk to me about that. The value of hearing no, really?
Well, the value of hearing no is good because it allows me to begin understanding where you're coming from. And let's not kid ourselves. No is only a moment in time. Please, no does not mean the world is coming to an end as we know it. It's only a moment in time. And no just allows me to have an opportunity to gain clarification from you. And the no, this is what drives me nuts. For so many salespeople, the number one reason they hear no is because the customer's chosen not to make a decision.
Yeah.
It's not that the customer is going somewhere else to buy. The customer's chosen not to make a decision. What does that tell me? That says, you know what? I haven't created enough value, enough of a reason for you to want to do business with me.
Yeah. Or I haven't created enough of a preference that it makes any sense to actually move forward. Because a lot of times, right? I mean, inertia is a strong thing, man. If I'm sitting on my butt right here, it's going to take something better than talking to you to get me up. So, for instance, if the CEO walks past, well, I might get up. But, if it's just one of the sales guys, I might be like, hey, I'll talk to you in 10 minutes, right? And that's the thing. We have to show value more than the alternative, which is doing nothing. Is that what you're talking about here?
And the urgency of the value, because if you get a note that says the CEO wants to see you, okay, you'll get there in a few minutes. But if the CEO walks in your office or walks right in front of your face, whoa, see, now it's more urgent. See, so I have to create the value, and one of the ways we create value, we create need, we create opportunity, is by wrapping it around time. Time is money, And so if I could begin to equate this, and I share this with a lot of salespeople, say, well, I'm just not going to make a decision for a couple more months. Well, what is the cost of you not making? What is the lost revenue? What is the issue of you not making a decision? See, so I mean, wrap it back to money. It's amazing how people respond to money. I apologize, Phil. I have lost your audio. I have lost your audio. You're on mute right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Phil Gerbishak and Mark Hunter. It's okay. Hey, there he is. But hold on just a second. Let's see. What are you not? Ladies and gentlemen, stay right there because we're going to be with you in just a moment.
Mark, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. There you are. Terrific.
Good. So sometimes we just have to change up the microphone. So that's happens.
Okay.
Cool.
You know what? Just like in sales, when the meeting gets changed, the phone call gets changed. That's right.
That's right. So you were talking about ROI, right? About how we have to talk about money, but there's other things, right? Other pains. And I think that's what salespeople have to understand, that it's all about finding a solution to a problem, right?
It is. Yeah, I want to run with this for just a second because this came up in a meeting I was with this last week, that when you are, say you're in B2B and you're dealing lower in the organization, you're dealing with more tactically budget-oriented people. The further up you go in the in the organization, the more strategic you are. And the decisions are going to be strategic. So they're going to be based, the ROI is going to be based on another reason. See, the ROI might be based on 2, 3, 4 years. You know, I'm in the midst of getting this book out the door. And what is interesting is we're making decisions right now to buy various services from things that we normally would not buy. But why are we buying it? Because of the timeliness of the book launch. So again, match it up to the needs of the customer.
Yeah, pretty simple, right? So we can use then the words, because you said this is important, because this is happening, right? That's really, really important. So many times we don't even ask those questions, so we have no ammunition, right? I get asked all the time, so how do I add more value? How do I know what the customer values? And the real easy answer is we have to ask them.
Ask the question. And then this whole thing, because I always tell people, whenever you come back to them with the price, you wrap the price around the opportunity, the challenge, the problem, the pain, the gain that the customer has expressed to you. And it means I share in the book an example where I was on the phone with a CEO, or excuse me, I was president of a company, and he wanted to bring me in to speak and do some work for their company. And he said right out of the chute, he said that my fee was too high. And he asked me if I'd lower it. I said, no. And I said, by the way, how much business do you expect to lose with the new competitor coming into your marketplace? Pause. And he goes, that was good. You're hired.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, but you asked that by finding out, right? I can tell you, I closed my biggest speaking fee to date because I got asked to lower my fee, and I asked the question. I said, so you want me to lower my fee? Are you expecting your salespeople will lower their fee on your product and service every time that people ask for it? It's like, no. I'm like, well, that's the answer.
This is kind of funny, and I don't mean to run down the rabbit trail of speakers and so forth, but so many times, because I mean, I'm in the speaking business. You do a lot of speaking. Comment I'll come back to is if you're having a big meeting at a hotel, you're going to spend more on coffee than you will for me. So, think about that for a moment. You're going to spend more on coffee.
Yeah, but you still got to show the value, because a lot of times coffee's given better value than a lot of those speakers that we see.
Excuse me while I drink some coffee,
right? And that's a nice segue, right? So as we think about that, lots of stuff here that we could talk about, but let's talk a little bit about social selling, because that is such a interesting myth, right? Social selling is neither social nor is it selling. And this, honestly, I have to tell you, Mark, out of all the things in your book, this is the one that makes me laugh the absolute most. Now your camera went a little. Oh, there it is.
There it is. It went fuzzy because we're talking social selling. See that?
Right.
See, it was all on cue.
Yeah. Well, social selling is a little fuzzy, right? That's the interesting thing. And and admittedly, I'm a proponent of social selling, but not in the way that we normally talk about. So, Mark, talk to us about social selling. Why it's neither social nor is it selling.
Okay. Now, first of all, I mean, I got nothing wrong with social selling. It's just the problem is people get drunk on it and they think it becomes the only way to go. And this is why I love to say social selling is neither social nor selling. That's the key reason I say that, because nothing is more painful than you accept an invite from somebody, and then 2 seconds later they're pinging you, they're pounding you to buy this, to buy that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's not what's it's social. The word social, create the relationship. You and I have a good friend, and he coined the expression years ago, and a lot of other people have used it since. And that is, your goal is to take the online connection and turn it into the offline conversation. I'm out on social media all the time. I spend an inordinate amount of time on social media. It works for me. But I do it because my reputation arrives before I do. I do it to create, that is my marketing, that is my advertising. But if you're a salesperson in a company, let your marketing team do that. Let your marketing department do that. You can spend time on social media, but not during the selling hours. Please, please. Because let me tell you something, you won't just watch one cat video. 2 hours later, you'll still be watching cat videos.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, I find the value in these lives to be in the replay. So I replay the video.
Yeah.
I'll play the audio, right? We'll share it because frankly, if you're watching this between 10 and 12 or between 2 and 4, you're in trouble. And it's 10 o'clock, right? It's 10 o'clock here in Tampa this morning because my sales team is selling. I'm a trainer. I'm not pulling them off the phones right now to do any sort of training. Now is money time.
It is.
Time doing that, right?
It is. It is. I can look at social media at 8, 9 o'clock at night. I can do that. I mean, I really control. I mean, it's important. Just make sure that when you're on social media, you are in it with, and you have full faculty of your mind. Okay. Because again,
don't drink and tweet. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. A lot of those stupid, angry tweets that pop up. Yeah. We won't bother to go down that road.
No, let's not. That's good. Well, let's wrap this up here, Mark. We got a lot of stuff we could talk about, but the book is fantastic, right? It's called A Mind for Sales. It's really helpful. It's behind you there. You only have an advanced reading copy. I have a PDF. But Mark, if there's one more thing that you can tell us about not controlling your customers, or perhaps about some minefields and some mind traps, or even about apps, what would the one thing be for our Mind for Sales so that we could take this home and take some action today?
Yeah, the number one piece is your objective each day is to influence and impact each person you come in contact with, not just a few, but each person. Because again, when you treat the barista the same as you do the customer you're about to talk to, it's amazing how much better you treat the customer. I find the top performing salespeople respect and create a level of confidence with each person they come in contact with. So it's about influence and impact each individual person. And when you do that, it's amazing what you'll learn. And guess what? Each day as you learn something, ask yourself this simple question: how am I going to apply it tomorrow to help my customers?
There we go. Impact and influence each and every day. Fantastic advice, Mark. If folks want to find you, they can, of course, go to thesaleshunter.com. But where is your favorite social network if they want to have a conversation with you?
LinkedIn is my number one tool. So by all means, we were talking in the green room before we went live about my little 6, 8, 10-second videos I post every morning from an airport. And yes, later today, I'll be in 2 airports. So, but I love posting those little quick tips every morning out there on LinkedIn.
Yeah, 6 or 8 seconds. Go find Mark Hunter. He is known as the Sales Hunter. You got to check him out. The new book is called A Mind for Sales. Get a copy. It'll be available the end of March of 2020. It's fantastic. It's a quick read. It's not just about your mindset. It's about tools and tactics and things that you can do to sell even more, to influence people today and every single day. Mark, thanks so much for being with me, buddy. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Great selling.
Yes, great selling.